It's preseason time in the NFL. We are already 3 days into preseason week 2. Well, 3 games into preseason week 2. But today, I'm going to give you my predictions for the rest of the preseason week. This is going to become an ongoing series on more ZMC. Soon, my brother will be joining me to discuss these. He's not going to today, but it's just going to be me. But soon, very soon, we will discuss the games and have more of a banter. This is going to be a fun series on this channel. If you want to see more, please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, and comment down below. What is your predictions of the preseason games week 1? Technically 1, they call it week 2 in the NFL because there's only 3 games, so the NFL is kind of weird. I want to know what are your predictions. First off, because we did this before the game started, I'm going to go ahead and give you my thoughts on the previous games. First off, Jets and Browns, the Hall of Fame game. It's a pretty good game. Take away from this is the Browns' second half team is pretty good. They've actually came down from really behind to one-up the Jets and end up winning that game. And I was genuinely surprised at how good that the Browns team got since then. Am I nervous for the Jets? I'm nervous for a couple of the young ones. Their offense was good in the first half. Second half, very big decline. I don't know if that's because the Browns are good or because the Jets are not good. Jets are one of the teams that I want to win good this year because, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, a bunch of young players on the team. I think they got a chance. But my big takeaway from this game is that the Browns probably going to be pretty good. I think that the Browns have a chance of being a pretty good team. Another game was yesterday was the Patriots and the Houston Texans. And honestly, a couple big takeaways from this game. Number one, CJ Stroud looked pretty bad. I mean, I was genuinely shocked at how not good CJ Stroud was. I mean, he threw a pick, had the 2 turnovers when he was quarterback. I mean, I sat back after watching this and I was like, wow, I'm genuinely shocked. Another big takeaway, Davis Mills came into the game and absolutely destroyed it. He was great. He absolutely destroyed the New England Patriots with his offense. And I get it. He's not should be in the preseason. He was the starter. He's been here in the league for several years. But he was never that big of a quarterback. And he's playing against all these young people. I think if he plays in the NFL like he did last night, I think he has a big chance of being a great player because he was playing some great football at quarterback. Patriots defense was decent enough, but their offense, it was really bad. Zappy hours over. Their other quarterback that they played was not very good. It's just it was punt after punt after punt. I'm worried about the Patriots offense because it's not the defense that wins Super Bowls. It could be the offense too, and the defense is already pretty good. The offense for the Patriots has definitely fallen apart since Tom Brady left. And so I'm really nervous for the Patriots this season. They did not do good at all yesterday. Houston with Davis Mills, pretty good, though. I do think that they stand a chance. Then we got the Vikings and the Seahawks. Couple big takeaways here. Mullins for the Minnesota Vikings is pretty good. He was throwing some absolute dots against the Seahawks defense. If they kept him in, they would have won the game. Here's another thing. Same thing's kind of like the Davis Mills thing. I do think that Drew Lock was looking pretty good. I mean, obviously, it's preseason. Drew Lock has been in the league. A lot of these players are rookies. But Drew Lock was throwing some absolute dots here and got a lot of touchdowns near the end. Absolutely annihilated the Vikings defense. Looked pretty good. There's a couple big wide receivers. Bobo was another big one that I kept hearing his name pop up in the game. It's just there's a couple big players for Seattle. When I made that prediction short a couple days ago, I don't know. I'm probably going to upload this tonight. The game's probably already started. Actually, time out real quick. See this? It's August 11 at 9:52 in the morning. 9:52 in the morning. And then, anyways, then in that game, there were a couple big names that kept popping up. And I made a shorts video yesterday as of the day I'm filming it. And I gotta say, I kind of predicted for the Vikings to win because I am a Vikings fan. I do like the Vikings. Obviously, Chiefs are my favorite. Vikings is my favorite NFC team. I should have gone for the Seahawks, though. The Seahawks look like they have a talented young team, and I'm excited to see what the Seahawks come. I think that the Seahawks can return back. Minnesota's second half team kind of fell apart, but I do think Mullins could be a pretty good addition to the team, and it wasn't like this terrible, terrible game. All right, on to the predictions now that we've gotten the games that I already played over with. First up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers today at 6 p.m. And my predictions for the game, I'm honestly... It's interesting because Tampa Bay doesn't have Brady no more. So they're definitely going to work out some new quarterbacks that nobody's ever seen before. Maybe even get Kyle Trask some playing time, get some practice in there. And they do got wide receivers like Mike Evans, but they got some unique drafting picks. My pick's going on the Steelers. It's almost guaranteed that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to throw in Kenny Pickett, maybe George Pickens, maybe have all of them come in. And the Steelers have a lot of young talent that we've seen before, that have been in the league before, while the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in a transitioning phase where they don't have Brady no more. And so, honestly, I think I'm going to go for this preseason Week 1 game. I'm going to go for the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not by like a huge bit. I do have faith in the Buccaneers, but Buccaneers are still going through that transcending phase. Not like the Steelers where they already got a bunch of players where they've already been in the league, but are still pretty young as well. Falcons and Dolphins, one game that I don't necessarily care about. I do like the Dolphins. The Falcons, I didn't really hear anything in the offseason about the Falcons. Heard a couple things about the Dolphins. Dolphins got some good draft picks. I genuinely don't follow the Falcons at all, so I don't know anything about them. I haven't even watched a single game or a single game highlight from last year. And so Falcons are like a team that I don't really pay attention to. And so I'm going to have to go for the Dolphins. Again, I don't know what the Falcons picked up in the offseason. I don't know if they're going to be good. But I'm personally going to go for the Dolphins because I think that the Dolphins are still a pretty good team. They also got a lot of young talent that are pretty good. The Falcons were never really all that good. So I'm going Dolphins for that game. And then we got the Packers and Bengals. And this one's going to be a very fun one because for the Packers and the Bengals, the Packers are like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not the Tampa Bay Raiders. The Packers are going through this transitioning phase where they're trying out Jordan Love and all that because they lost Aaron Rodgers. They also got a lot of young talent, but a lot of that young talent moved over to the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. So I am just very interested to see what the Packers could do. Jordan Love has been in the league for a while, though. He's played, and it's almost guaranteed that he's going to get the start as well versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals also got a lot of young talent, and I don't really know because I like the Bengals in this match, but I don't know who they're going to play, and I don't know who's going to be stronger, and Jordan Love probably has more playing time than any quarterback in this game. So I think I'm going to go for the Packers, maybe winning by a field goal or such. It's going to be a close game. The Bengals still have a lot of young talent. But honestly, with the fact that Jordan Love has been in the league longer, I'd have to go with the Green Bay Packers over the Cincinnati Bengals for this one. Next up, Giants and Lions, the preseason game of the week, in my opinion. I'm going Lions, honestly. The Lions got a lot of young talent. Everybody's excited to see the Lions this year. I'm excited to see the Lions this year. While the Giants, I don't really think they have all that much of a young talent besides their main core, which is Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones. I think that those two players are what's going to make the Giants pretty good this year. But the Lions have a lot of young talent that a lot of people are going to think that are going to win games and be one of the best teams in the league. And so, personally, in my opinion, I'm definitely going for the Lions, maybe being like an undefeated preseason. I'm not sure how they're going to be in the regular season. I think that they're going to be good. They might even squeeze in a playoff, maybe even a playoff win. But overall, I do think that they got a lot of good young talent and that they're going to best over the New York Giants. Next up, we got the Commanders and the Browns. What an interesting game because we've seen the Browns play before. This is one of the only teams that has already played a game that we've seen. And we haven't seen the Commanders, but what I saw of the Browns, like I said, I kind of liked. And I kind of think that the Cleveland Browns are going to take this one because I like some of their young players. I like their second half team, absolutely did really great against the New York Jets. And I like the Commanders, but I don't think that the Commanders have all that much young talent compared to the Browns. Commanders got a lot of young talent, especially like a couple wide receiver players that are young in this league. But I genuinely like the Browns over because we've seen the Browns play before. They've had a playing game. They should already be fresh and ready to go in the league. And so I'm going to take the Browns over the Washington Commanders. All right, now we're into some interesting games here. The Broncos and the Cardinals. Very excited for this game because both teams are not very good. The Cardinals are not good at all. They got some young talent, but I mean, they got rid of some of the only players that make their team worth it. And I definitely think that they're gonna not win very many games this year. I definitely don't like the Cardinals this season. The Broncos, however, I'm interested in because of Sean Payton. Do I think that they're gonna be a good team? Coaching does not win games. No, it doesn't. But I'm interested in Sean Payton and Sean Payton's coaching and the way he could pick draft picks and being a Hall of Fame coach who coached Drew Brees in his prime. I think I'm going to have to go ahead and take the Denver Broncos over this one. I know for preseason they're going to be pretty good. I'm not sure about regular season, but I definitely have the Denver Broncos over the Arizona Cardinals in this game. It's going to be a fun game to watch, though, because both teams are unique in their own way. Titans and Bears, and I'm always one guy that's always like, yeah, Titans suck. Even when like they're the whole hype, Derrick Henry, I was always like, Derrick Henry does not make teams. When they got rid of A.J. Brown and they got rid of all these players, I genuinely thought to myself, the Titans are going to suck. And they really proved last year that they totally blew the ball and having a terrible season. And, I mean, they were good at first, but then they truly transitioned to be one of the worst teams in the league, in my opinion. And so the Bears have a lot of young talent. I mean, I think that the Bears are going to have a positive win season this year. And so I'm excited to see where the Bears go. Whereas the Titans, I kind of hope they suck because I never liked the Tennessee Titans. And they always do. They were kind of sucking. And so I think that they're not going to stop sucking. And they're definitely going to lose this game against the Chicago Bears. Next up, this one's a very fun game because I'm very excited for this one. The Colts and the Bills. And for me, I am never a Colts fan. But they picked up Anthony Richardson, who is one of my favorite quarterbacks. He played for Florida Gators, my college team, and they picked him up, and I think he's going to be great. Does that mean I think they're going to win the game? No. I like the Bills. Actually, I don't like the Bills, but I think they're going to win this game because they also got a lot of young talent. The coaching is absolutely subpar. The Colts never were that good. They got a couple young talent, but I do think that the Bills are going to best them. I'm very excited to see where Anthony Richardson brings this team this year. I will be tuning into this game. I'm so excited because I absolutely love Anthony Richardson. But do I think he's going to beat the Bills? Not necessarily. I really hope he does, but my prediction's on the Bills. Moving right along, Jets and Panthers. Another teams that we've already seen play was the Jets. And I did like what I saw. But I was a little nervous because the team really did fall apart in the second half of that game, and I'm not really sure what they're going to do. Plus, the Panthers had the #1 overall pick. I believe it was Bryce Young. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe it is. And so Bryce Young's going to be playing. I'm going to have to go with the Panthers over the Jets on this one. Another thing that originally outdid my notes because I realized that Bryce Young's on this team and is going to completely... I'm not sure if he's going to do great. C.J. Stroud was a big disappointment yesterday, but I do think that the Carolina Panthers are going to beat the New York Jets, even though I think that the Jets are pretty good. They have a lot of young talent. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets win this game. Originally, in my notes, I did have the Jets winning this game, but I'm going to have to go with the Panthers over the Jets for now because of Bryce Young, and he's a great quarterback, and Panthers are getting a lot of young talent. The Jags and Cowboys. Jaguars are a team with a lot of young talent. The Cowboys are a team with a lot of older players that are also really good. But going young talent-wise, because we're in the preseason, I'm going to go with the Jaguars over this game. Jaguars are another team I am very excited to see this season because they absolutely demolished last year. They absolutely subverted expectations. Unfortunately, they had to play my Chiefs in the playoffs because there's no chance they're beating the Kansas City Chiefs on a playoff Super Bowl win. But I'm very excited to see the Jags this year. I think they got a lot of young talent. Cowboys, I'm more of a Cowboys hater. I might be biased through this. I do think the Cowboys are a better team. But going young talent, I think I would definitely have to go Jacksonville. Call me biased all you want. I hate the Cowboys. But I'd have to go Jacksonville in this game. Any other normal game, I would go with Cowboys. But the Jags are, I think, going to win the preseason game. Eagles and the Ravens. This is going to be a fun game because the Ravens got a lot of young talent, but so does Philadelphia. And so I'm very interested in who's going to win this game. Very interested in the game as a total. I'm going to have to go Philadelphia, though. Philadelphia was a big surprise last year. I think they've always been this underrated team. And then coming into the Super Bowl last year, unfortunately, again, playing against my Chiefs, no way you're beating them. But then I was very surprised at the Eagles. The Eagles are one of my favorite NFC teams. I do like them. And so I'm definitely going to take the Eagles over the Ravens, even though I think that any team can win. This is only preseason. Each team's got a lot of young talent. I would personally have to go over Philadelphia over the Baltimore Ravens, even though, like I said, I do like each team. I do think that they can do pretty good. Final 3 games on this list, Chargers and Rams. Chargers got a lot of young talent. But this year, I think I'm going with the Rams to be a pretty decent team. We got rid of Jalen. I know. I'm not a big Rams fan, even though I live in St. Louis. But I'm not a big Rams fan. I never was. And now that... I mean, I like that the Rams didn't have a winning season last year. I like that. But I think they're going to have a comeback season this year. But they are playing the Chargers, who's also got a lot of young talent. They're always a team that their young talent is winning the games. And so I'm very interested in this game. I think I would go with the Los Angeles Rams, though. I do think that the Rams got a big chance of winning this one. But another game that I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers came out and pulled out on top. I do think that they would definitely have a chance to win this game. Kansas City Chiefs and the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans is a team that I'm excited to see. They're another team like the Falcons that I never followed. But I like them now because they got, what's his name? Carr on their team, but they are playing Kansas City, and I never bet against Kansas City. There's not going to be a single game this year where I bet against Kansas City unless Kansas City's sucking. But anyways, I can't go against Kansas City. I got to go Kansas City. I'm very excited for the New Orleans Saints. I do think that they got a lot of young talent, a lot of young players that might do absolutely great, but I'm always going for Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City's got a lot of young wide receivers that we need to see if we're going to do good. I'm eager to watch this game. I'm eager to see how our team's going to do. And so I'm definitely going with the Kansas City Chiefs over the New Orleans Saints because I never bet against my Chiefs. Final game here, the Niners versus the Raiders. I'm definitely going to go for... This one's a hard one because the Niners, they got a couple of young talent, so do the Raiders. I'm going Niners over the Raiders on this one. Their young talent is absolutely outstanding, and a couple of their older players are great too if they get some playing time. I've always never liked the Niners, but I've always liked the Niners because of how good of a team they were, and I've liked them. I've never liked them personally, but I've always favored them over other teams because, you know, they're the Niners and they never lose. But that was my predictions for the NFL preseason week 1. Once the games are over, comment down below what is your predictions and how many did you get right. So far, I'm 1-1 on my preseason predictions. I did not predict the Hall of Fame game because I didn't even know it happened until like a couple days ago. But this is my predictions. I'm going to go through this video again once the games are over, give you my new record at the end of that. But currently I'm 1-1. What's your record after this on predicting the preseason games? Thank you guys for clicking on this video. With that said, subscribe, join the Nerd Army.